Mathematics is the science of logical patterns, and truth can be established by deduction from these patterns. And the most elegant of math's truths exists in its foundation, which is numbers. For numbers are symbols which are utilized for measuring and counting. And as Plato expounded, numbers are the highest degree of knowledge, for it is knowledge itself. But what is the opposite of mathematics and numbers? It is ignorance. Man has blinded himself with ignorance. For as Socrates said, ignorance is the root and stem of every evil. So let us strive to find knowledge and truth, for truth can be found in mathematics and numbers.
God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them. God blessed them, and God said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth, and subdue it, and rule over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the sky, and over every living thing that moves on the earth." Genesis 1:27-28. God created man in God's image, and in God's image man became a plurality. For from the beginning there were three, and the three always agree as one. For there are three that bear witness in heaven, the Father, the Word, and the Holy Spirit, and these three are one. And there are three that bear witness on earth, the Spirit, the water, and the blood, and these three agree as one. 1 John 5:7-8. And there are three hands of God, for God completes his work through the hand of the Father, who has handed all things to the Son, who has handed all things to the Holy Spirit. For the three hands of God are the 15 fingers of God. And God shall complete his work in 15. For the Hebrew word for 15 is chamish asar, which means completion. For 15 is the completion of God's deliverance. For it was on the 15th day that God would deliver his people. They journeyed from Ramesses in the first month, on the 15th day of the first month. On the next day after the Passover, the sons of Israel started out boldly in the sight of all the Egyptians, while the Egyptians were burying all their firstborn whom the Lord had struck down among them. The Lord had also executed judgments on their gods. Numbers 33:3-4. And it was on the 15th day of the second month that God delivered them manna from heaven. Then they set out from Elim, and all the congregation of the sons of Israel came to the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second month after their departure from the land of Egypt. Exodus 16:1. And it was on the 15th day of the month of Adar that the people would celebrate their deliverance from Persia. But the Jews who were in Susa assembled on the 13th and the 14th of the same month, and they rested on the 15th day, and made it a day of feasting and rejoicing. Esther 9:18. And God commanded us to remember his deliverance in 15. And it is on the 15th day of the month of Nisan that they remember their deliverance from Egypt. Then on the 15th day of the same month there is the feast of unleavened bread to the Lord. For 7 days ye shall eat unleavened bread. Exodus 13, Leviticus 23. And it is on the 15th day of the month of Tishri that they remember their deliverance from the desert. On the 15th month of this 7th month is the feast of booths, for 7 days to the Lord. And it is on the 15th day of the month of Adar that they remember their deliverance from Persia. On exactly the 15th day of the 7th month, when you have gathered in the crops of the land, you shall celebrate the feast of the Lord for 7 days, with a rest on the first day and rest on the 8th day. Esther 9:20-22. And it is the Son who would deliver us in 15. For the Lamb of God was sacrificed, and on the 15th day of the month, the Son descended into hell, so that the prisoners in Sheol may be set free. And by the hand of his great sacrifice, the Father handed all things over to the Son. For the Father loves the Son, and has given all things into his hands. John 3:35. And when the works of the Spirit's hands are completed, all things shall be handed back to the Father. And when the last trumpet is blown, the mystery of God shall be complete. And the witness shall lift his right hand and testify that God's work is complete. It is done. Then the angel whom I saw standing on the sea and on the land lifted up his right hand to heaven, and swore by him who lives forever and ever, who created heaven and the things in it, and the earth and the things in it, and the sea and the things in it, that there will be delay no longer. But in the days of the voice of the 7th angel, when he is about to sound, then the mystery of God is finished, as he preached to his servants, the prophets. Revelation 10:5-7.